On behalf of the ABC Tech team, I'm Mr. Lanes, and I'd like to welcome you back to the 2024-2025 school year. This year promises to be super exciting, aren't they all? But this year, we have some new technology, which means there's some new expectations as far as how our students should be using that technology. So in an effort to assist you, we've created some guiding documents, some language that you might want to incorporate into your syllabus, and just some resources to help you in making this transition as smooth as possible. So without further ado, let's take a look at the AI support guidance document. And I'm going to walk you through what's in it so that you'll be able to use it at your discretion and make your life just a little bit easier. This is the ABC Guide to Responsible AI Integration. It contains SyllabAI Language, expectations, and support documents. The objective here is that we want to create a unified approach to AI integration within our ABC schools. If we have a common language, if we have consistent expectations, and if all of our community partners are aware of what those expectations and responsibilities are, then we feel like this will be a smooth process, or at least a smoother process in integrating AI within our classrooms. If everybody's kind of walking along the same path, we all have a shared vision, then we believe that that foundation is going to help as we integrate these powerful new tools into the classroom. We've broken up this document into different sections. The first part deals with AI syllabus language. This is language that you can use, you could copy and paste to augment your existing syllabus, or perhaps you want to create one from scratch for this year. But this is the type of language that will help our students understand that there are new expectations as we integrate these new AI generative tools into the classroom. The next section has our ABC Responsible Use Policy for AI. This is the document that all students will receive when they register this year. That's followed by some AI integration supplemental language. So if the first section and the language we provided doesn't really fit your needs in your classroom, whether it be discipline needs, content needs, or even grade level needs, this language could be something that works better for you. You're welcome to choose copy and paste from it, or you might want to use this as a single document, a one-pager that can be printed out and added to your existing syllabus. Finally, on page 7, this is where we have a document in which we have what's called a tiered response. So if we have students that are misusing generative AI, they need to know what the guidelines, expectations, and potential consequences are for that. And you'll find that in the last section. The first, SyllabAI Language and expectations. This is the language that you can use to augment your existing syllabus just simply by copying and pasting. We have 4 fundamental tenets here. The first one says adhering to teacher directives and AI use. Literally, you can just take your cursor, copy, and paste that into your existing syllabus. There's also examples here. So if a student is in need of understanding what those expectations are, they see the rule, but they don't really know what it would look like in practice, underneath every one of these, written in italicized text, gives you a little example. Again, if you think that that's a need for you and your students, you're going to copy and paste that to create or augment your existing syllabus. We talk about transparency and how we want students to acknowledge when they are using generative AI and to give appropriate attribution to that assistance. Again, there is an example if needed for your students. As we continue to scroll down, we have letter C, in which it refers to our tiered response guidelines. Again, this is referencing any student who's having difficulty understanding the expectations and guidelines that have been provided. And again, an example for them. And finally, we want to make sure that students understand that ultimately it's up to the teacher discretion about how AI will be used or if it's not going to be used at all. And once again, we have an example. So this first section with language is designed for you to copy and paste and augment your existing syllabus. Look at the ABC Responsible Use Policy for AI. There's a link there that will take you to a high resolution image if you want to print this out. But basically, this will be provided to all students during registration, and it just outlines the key principles for ethical, responsible AI use, and it's written in student-friendly language. If you'd like a poster of this document, just send me an email and we will send that out to your school. The 6 principles: respect, integrity, attribution, privacy, critical thinking, responsibility. And at the bottom of the page is an example of our AI attribution badging system. I will explain that in much further detail in another video. When creating this document, we realized that it's difficult to meet the needs of every teacher in ABC from kindergarten to 12. So with that in mind, we created some supplemental language that you might want to use that might fit your class needs better, whether it's grade level, whether it is content level. You might find language here that works better for you and what you want to accomplish in your classroom. The 2 pages are suitable for printing as is, or you could do what I suggested before, and that's copying and pasting sections of this to your existing syllabus. We'll just go through it quickly. There is one that I've categorized as secondary supplemental language. You'll see that it's based on those same fundamental tenets that you saw in the student acceptable use policy addendum, a responsible use policy addendum. And then we have another document that is more kid-friendly, and it's written hopefully in a language for elementary students that might be more accessible to them. But again, based on those fundamental tenets, you'll see them either written above as a title or in parentheses next to more early elementary friendly language. This is our tiered response to AI misuse. I want to emphasize that at ABC Unified School District, we have always been committed to maintaining high standards when it comes to academic integrity. With generative AI, this is just amplified. Our focus is still academic integrity. Our focus is still an education that is supportive and not necessarily punitive. So I believe if we can work together and create a learning environment in which students thrive, develop their critical thinking skills, and use AI ethically and responsibly, then together we will not necessarily need so many consequences. But it is still important to hold students accountable. They need to know those expectations. So as we scroll through here, you can see that we've created what's called an initial response. So this is when a student uses AI the wrong way. Maybe it's an honest mistake. Maybe they're trying to get away with something. Regardless, we want to use that first incident as an opportunity for learning. If it continues and we see a pattern of misuse, then we have some language that supports you in how to intervene if there are subsequent violations of the expectations that have been set forth upon the students. And finally, if it comes to this, it's always going to be up to the teacher discretion if there's grade penalties involved. Obviously, we always want to work towards that understanding, that classroom that is one of learning and growth. But if a student continues to misuse AI, there may not be any recourse other than providing some sort of grade penalty. And at that point, that's up to teacher discretion. We did it. I've walked you through the whole document. I hope that you found that useful, and I hope that you find the contents of that document helpful in expressing and articulating to your students what those expectations and guidelines are for ethical, responsible use of AI. I just want you to know that we are always open to suggestions. I have an open mind, and I am listening to your feedback. And if there's any gaps there or there's any confusion, please reach out to us and we will get those answers to you as quickly as possible. I want you to have a great year, and I think it's going to be really exciting when you start to really dig into these new resources that we have selected and are providing for you. Have a great year, teachers. Let's go.